Okay, so InfiniteZero Foundation, we are a Shift Grant recipient 002. We're very honored. So I wanted to start with this most recent tweet Vitalik left, and it was that 2026 is the year that we take back lost ground in terms of self-sovereignty and trustlessness. And to me, it actually, in order to achieve that, we need to be building out new infrastructure and applications that meet the ethos of decentralized acceleration or defensive acceleration, whichever way you look at it. So I'll start with a real, actually grounded example. When we were at Edge City, Patagonia, we were kindly hosted by Protocol Labs. There was a device, a wearable device there that wanted to make sure that all data collected on a fitness wearable was held sovereign and private within your own data stores. This way, people might not be spying on you. You kind of have that rested self-assurance that it all goes to you. And in this world of self-sovereignty for the data layer, what happens if we kept the data there? How would we still train AI on it? And how can we do that in a DIAC manner? So this is where InfiniteZero Protocol was born. We started it as a project over at University of Oxford, and from there we just slowly developed with various micro grants, and eventually receiving this Shift grant has been transformational for us to actually get building really properly. So just a brief overview, InfiniteZero is an ownerless, trustless AI protocol that extends out of Ethereum. It uses smart contracts and validators to coordinate decentralized on-device AI training, keeping data private and eliminating central control. So Ethereum handles the settlement layer, and we also use IPFS for gas-efficient off-chain communication. And the network delivers scalable, privacy-preserving AI as a public good. So the next slide, I was going to shift to my demo. I might have to start re-sharing my screen, if that's okay, if you just give me a moment to do that on a pre-recorded video. So share screen. Good. It's going to... I'm going to assume that it's not showing like an infinity screen at some point, and it will settle on the video that I have to play. I just thought this was the best way to do it. I'll hop back in quickly just to see if you're saying yes, you can see it. Okay, good. I'll go back to save you the infinite video slide. So this is like a really brief overview of InfiniteZero network that's actually working in the background. So this is basically the command line that would be running in the background. Initially, it was called DIN. That was the early sort of academic name for the project. And this is boring, right? But this is the actual infrastructure running in the background, and I'll give you a glimpse into the architecture later. But after this is running in the background, you can imagine like everyone having a fitness wearable, a distributed cluster of nodes around the world, each person owning their own data. And when they're recording from their fitness wearable, it's maybe going to their computer, stored locally. It's not something that is collected as we understand it today with the whole data infrastructures that re-centralize that data so they can use it for their own personal use cases. But how can we preserve AI training in a trustless way if we were to be able to do that? So this is the actual application layer and what it might look like. You can imagine that applications tied to this fitness wearable, in this case, ReflexDAO, which was actually running an experiment at Edge City. And it could enable AI to be trained in a privacy-preserving manner and provide all kinds of insights. You know, it could be recovery modes, recommendations, sleep schedules, peak performance windows, workout nutritional alerts. And the nice thing about this is you're providing a public goods AI utility for this application. But each time someone trains within the network, ReflexDAO themselves or any application would actually get paid a part of the network fees. So this is actually a real possibility to monetize this new self-sovereign layer of data architectures that would remain in the periphery and provide an AI commons at the very same time. And I mentioned before, this would all be happening whilst no one actually owns the network in the same principles and ethos of Ethereum. So this meets all of the termed 4Ds of the DIAC ethos. And this is really important for a number of reasons. Perhaps I can go into that and prompt you at the white paper at the end, which I've been told is digestible. But I'm going to just go back now to finish up the presentation. So if I go back to sharing the screen, good. So the origins of the data layer really started to form with the World Wide Web. It was this idea that any garage owner or businessman in the local community could bring up their page online and represent themselves with data. This quickly became what we know as Web 2. So essentially, there was a power capture of that data, and it's all vacuumed up hierarchically so that they could monetize it and, in the most recent era, apply AI to it. But we kind of want to re-decentralize that data layer and enable AI at the same time, which is what InfiniteZero Foundation achieves. So we're infrastructural, but you can see how it can now support a whole host of applications in the periphery, enable this self-sovereignty layer of data in the periphery, and train AI at the same time, all within a fully trustless way. This is a pretty quick glimpse. It looks a bit overwhelming, but essentially you have smart contracts, IPFS, the person training the AI model, and the participants, which is you and me and anyone who might own a fitness wearable, or it might be any other use case. I've spoken recently with people in energy infrastructure, from solar panels to you name it. It's quite expensive, and this is an example. So it could be decentralized social media like Farcaster, other wearable devices, solar panels, home assistant tools, self-driving cars, and that application that I showed you is kind of what everyone would see. So now we've actually brought Web3 into the back end where I believe it really should be, enabling users to engage with these applications and potentially even be financially incentivized with stable coins for proprietary models that are trained, all without having the hassle of needing to be literate in what is quite a complex technology, which is another part of what we're trying to drive. So this is an inclusive AI economy that meets DEC principles. Our next steps: we're about to launch our DevNet. We have a whole host of validators signed up since we attended Edge Patagonia. And there's nothing much more to say than if you want to get involved, please reach out. I'm going to leave this up on the screen. This is actually our GitHub repository. Everything has been open source from day one. You can see our latest updates and code developments being built out of the main branches for the demo. And I thank you for your time.